The story of the prodigal son has two sides, one of which is popularly known as the retreat of the sinful son back to his father's empire, and the other is that of his brother who was long seated on his father's side. The story tells that after years of squandering the wealth of his father, the prodigal son returned home to plead for forgiveness. The senior brother, always on his father's side, burst into outrage to disapprove of the welcome ceremony. This action shows that the old brother also sought his father's wealth but wanted a different means of getting them. He pretended to support his father and waited for his reward, and when his brother was welcomed, he felt threatened. Jesus Christ, who was the teller of this story, tried to make people understand that just going to church alone is not a free ticket to entering heaven. People sometimes visit the church who feel that going to church clears their sacred path. Religious self-superiority as a driver of violence and discrimination is a troubling thought. In the context of social justice, self-righteousness is a dangerous quality. It's when someone believes that they are morally superior to everyone else and have the right to tell others how they should live their lives based on what they believe to be true. Your faith is no better than your motivation. You have to have the right reasons in your heart to believe. Sometimes people think just because it's easier or because they're being threatened with physical harm. But deep down, when you're worshiping God with no strings attached, you know that He is there for you. You will be fulfilled when you have deep down assurance in your heart. The older brother in the story cared more about his father's wealth than he did about his brother. And many of us think in similarly materialistic terms. We would rather have a bigger paycheck than being part of a close-knit family, or we would instead take that promotion than be able to spend time with our partners and children. Our love for money often overshadows our passion for our family and friends. As Christian in good faith, we must understand that Jesus Christ prioritizes us over anything. When we face difficulties, we can look up ahead to our ultimate big brother, Jesus Christ. He will never abandon us because of His love for humanity. One of the more famous stories in the Bible is about Jesus changing water into wine. While the story isn't historically accurate, it does illustrate God's infinite power. At the wedding at Cana, when all the wine had been used up, Jesus performed His first miracle to create more for everyone to enjoy. This wasn't His only miracle. The Bible says that He healed many people and even raised people from the dead. His miracles were a big part of His ministry, and they're a big part of the story we're telling today. Among many other miracles in the Bible, the best of them were the miracles that show God's love for parties and feasts. This indicates that God will continue to provide for His people. God's love for feasting and parties was just one of the miracles He did to show His people that He would provide for them, growing their faith and trust in Him.